Okay, so we have a ruler here, and I'm gonna give you a pen just in case you need to write anything down. Is it possible to measure the bear with a broken ruler?
With a broken ruler, yes.
So, can you tell me the measurement of the bear?
2 inches.
2 inches. Very good. Okay, so now we're gonna go onto this website, and so it's just GeoGebra, and you're going to pick 3 different lines, and you're gonna measure them. And so here's your broken ruler here, and then you pick 3 different lines, and you drag them up to the ruler, and then you're gonna tell me the length for each line that you measure. And you can use this tool to move the angle of your ruler if you need to. And we're just measuring to the nearest unit.
So your nearest unit?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like 3 7/8?
We're measuring to the nearest unit, so we don't need to use 7/8.
Oh. So rounding up or rounding down?
Well, it's closer to what?
4 inches?
4 inches, okay. Okay, do another one.
Three and a half.
3.5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and one more.
Four.
4 inches. So can you explain how you determined the length using a broken ruler?
Just got to the nearest inch. And then used just the inch scale.
Just use the inch scale.
Mm-hmm.
So would this be, you would just mark that as like a 1 instead?
So that would be my 1 inch, and then I'd go to my increments. So that'd be your half. Since there's no other markings for like an eighth or quarters. Are you saying go to the next unit of scale? So just using approximate.
Okay. What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of using a broken ruler compared to a regular standard ruler?
Advantages?
Mm-hmm. And disadvantages. Are there any advantages to using a broken ruler?
Other than that, you could still get away, not using. You can still get your measurements, but I mean, if it's, say you only have half of a broken ruler, you can only measure up to, within 5 inches.
That length.
Yep, that length.
Okay. So how would you approach measuring an object if both the ruler and the object, or if the object was larger than the broken ruler? What would you do?
So I would make my marking to the longest length that the broken ruler was.
Okay.
I would make a mark there, and then I would move on to my inch mark.
You would move your ruler.
Move my ruler after. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna go to part 2, and I'm gonna show you the Gallon Man. So the Gallon Man is a tool, and he's just an interactive visual that is used to help understand liquid measurement, and so it tells us how many cups, pints, quarts are in a gallon. So 1 gallon would be 4 quarts, 1 quart would be 2 pints, 1 pint would be 1 pint would be 2 cups, And then 1 gallon would be, of course, those 16. So you can see that they're all connected to this body here, 1 gallon. So how many quarts are in a gallon?
How many quarts are in a gallon? 4 quarts.
How many cups are in a gallon?
16.
16. How many cups are in half a gallon?
Or in half a gallon? 8.
So if I have 8 pints, then how many gallons do I have?
If you have 8 pints, 1 gallon.
1 gallon. And if I have 12 cups, how many quarts do I have?
3 quarts.
And if I have 6 quarts, how many gallons do I have?
6 quarts, you have a gallon and a half.
So what do you notice about the different sizes of the containers in the Gallon Man?
They increase.
They increase. And how do they relate to one another?
What do you mean, like them being like equivalent almost?
How
Yeah.
how would you say that they relate? By looking at this compared to this, or this compared to that?
Well, according to the Gallon Man, they all look like squares.
Yes, they all are. They all are quadrilaterals.
Yeah. But they all equal, you know. I'm able to see 2 cups equals 1 pint.
Okay.
And then 2 pints go into 1 quart. And then total of 4 quarts equals a gallon.
So the partitions all go.
Yep,
within
they
one
all go
another.
together.
Can you explain how many cups are in a quart?
How many cups are in a quart? 4 cups.
And based off the Gallon Man, you can see that those small squares would fit into 1 large quart square.
Yep.
Okay. And if you had to fill a gallon using pint-sized containers, how many pints would you need?
I would use
And can you show your work?
8. Do I just circle?
Sure.
So I would use, for a gallon?
Mm-hmm.
So there would be 1 pint, 2 pints, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to make a gallon.
And they would all fit into this
And
large
they-
square.
Yep.
Okay. And how do you think measuring liquids would be different if we use different units, such as liters or milliliters?
How would they be different?
Mm-hmm. So, like, what would the liter man look like compared to the Gallon Man?
The liter man would be much larger than the gallon man. This would be more milliliters.
More milliliters. All right, good job. Thank you.
Mhm.